Change can be pretty tough, can it? Whether it's creating a good habit or ending a bad one, change is not something that happens overnight. But change is something God does expect from all of us when we turn to Him. Think about it like growing up. If you're still throwing temper tantrums well into your 40s, it's safe to say there's an issue. Tantrums are for toddlers, not adults. But if you've got someone throwing fits in your house, what's stopping him from making the change God calls him to make? Maybe throwing temper tantrums work for him because he uses them to get his way. If so, why would he change? If you're married to someone like that, it can be scary and tough. And if that's you and you fear for your safety during one of his rages, please call 911 or in a safe time, call Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE to get some help and create a safety plan for yourself. But let me be real with you for just a moment. Why would he change as long as you're willing to tolerate it and give in to him? His fits work for him, even if it hurts you and the kids. And if that's you, then I want to suggest that he isn't the only one who needs to change. You too need to change. And the first change for you is the way you think. You need to learn that God does not want you, His beloved daughter, treated dishonorably by the person who promised to protect and honor you. It's just plain wrong. You also need to change your thinking and begin to learn that unconditional love does not require unconditional relationship. Extending grace does not erase negative consequences. Forgiveness does not give him permission to do it again and again. And truth does not mean it never hurts his feelings or isn't hard for him to hear. Acceptance of reality, he's a bully, does not mean tolerance. You have to live like this. Godly submission does not mean compliance or having no choices. And biblical headship does not mean he gets his way all the time. Marriage does not equal ownership. And forgiveness does not mean automatic reconciliation or restored trust. Ephesians 4 and 5 has some wisdom on what God wants when it comes to growing up and becoming mature. And this isn't just about physical changes. From God's perspective, maturity is learning not to think or live like you used to when you didn't know him. The Bible talks about leaving behind lust, impurity, our selfish ways, as well as our wrong thinking, and learning to walk in truth and love. And by the way, walking is an action step, not a theological belief system. Now, learning to walk in the truth and love with new action steps is a process, and you often do it best with godly support. So if your husband is telling you, I've changed, instead of responding to him with skepticism like, I'll believe it when I see it, you could say something like, I'm really glad to hear that, and I look forward to seeing real change in your behavior over time, because I'm changing too. I will no longer live like this. Genuine change isn't about fancy promises, buying you flowers, creating date nights. It's about respecting your boundaries, honoring your no, and understand that rebuilding broken trust takes time. And most importantly, it's a consistent, deep change of the heart, where you're not just saying to him, I won't live like this anymore, but he's saying to himself, I don't want to be that way anymore, and does what it takes to be different.